Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Live with Monica. I'm Monica P. I'm the host of the show where we interview some of the most incredible entrepreneurs and leaders and people doing some really good thing and why what they're doing is so impactful. We're going to continue our spotlight today on Thrive in 25, a women's conference going on at the end of the month. We'll give you the exact dates and how you can learn more. And if you haven't registered, I'm going to suggest that you do. And we've been spotlighting some of the speakers, and it's just an amazing conference. It's Thrive in 25, Women's Conference, Chicagoland, June 25th through the 28th of this year. And we're joined by an incredible speaker, someone who's going to be there, and I can't wait to meet in person. And she is Bobbie Carlton, Innovation Women, founder of that, and one of the speakers. And if you have been hesitant to really get on stage yourself, if you've been thinking, well, I'm very shy, I'm an introvert, we're going to talk about how you need to be on stage. Welcome, Bobbie. Thanks so much for joining us on the spotlight this week.
Absolutely, and thank you for the invitation.
Well, I love talking to people because now I have learned you used to work in radio. Give us your radio voice.
Oh, WTRY, Pix 106, Albany, Schenectady, Troy. You never forget your first call sign.
Never, ever. Mine was KJCB, and they had this awful logo where you had the little OK sign. But hey, it was your first job other than college radio, so it counts.
Actually, it came before college radio.
Ah, okay, all
Well,
right. You are a
I was in high school.
Ah, I like that. Well, we're talking about the upcoming Thrive in 25 Women's Conference, and you are one of the amazing speakers, and you're doing not one but two sessions. We're going to talk about that. And just the way of a little background on Bobbie, other than starting in radio, even before she went to college, she, as I mentioned, Innovation Women, but Bobbie has been on stages all over the place, whether it's big stages, podcasts. She even spoke before the United Nations. That's amazing. So a TEDx speaker as well. When we talked about this week about the Thrive in 25 conference being unique, why did you say yes? What intrigued you about doing this?
Well, obviously the topic, but I will have to say that Innovation Women is a speaking platform, and I think something like 12 of the 18 speakers are from Innovation Women. So these are my people. I
Oh
knew
my
that.
goodness. Yeah. So you're doing something really, really good. So you're one of your own people, and then you have your people who are there as well.
I do have my
Great.
people.
Yeah. As you know that your people are there and you've been really thinking about the conference, well, what do you think sets this particular conference apart? I've asked all my guests this week what makes a Thrive in 25 Women's Conference different.
I think it's the speakers, but it's also, I mean, I have to say the speakers. That's part and parcel of being their biggest fan and advocate. But I also think it's the continuing connection. So all of the people who are attending the conference will be getting memberships to her C-suite and to Innovation Women. So I'm just loving the opportunity to be connected to people for a long period of time. Usually a conference is kind of one and done or 2 days and done. You're in, you're out, and it's like, yeah, you're on to the next thing. But I see this as the ability to kind of have a continuing connection and impact.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about Innovation Women. You mentioned it's you have all these amazing speakers that you're there. So if you could just go over it a little bit about how does one end up being a part of Innovation Women, and it's not like a speakers bureau. It's a little different, correct?
Yeah, we
Kind of
usually
sort of.
say speaking platform. So Innovation Women is a mission-based company. We were originally designed, we're just celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So 10 years ago, I got fed up going to conferences and events, and I said we need more women on those stages, and women need more opportunities to get on those stages. So I started Innovation Women as a way for event managers to find awesome speakers who just happen to be women. So we have a database of speakers. We also have a database of speaking opportunities. I think right now there are over 800 open conferences and events in our database. We also have what we call the green room, which is where you get education and information that is helpful to you as a speaker at all different levels. And we also have the Innovation Women Network, our online community. And we do really fun things. We have a weekly Zoom call called Speaker Friend Friday, and anybody can join us. You can just sign up for our newsletter. You'll get the Speaker Friend Friday Zoom link, and that allows you to join us on a call. Anywhere between 50, 60, 100 people hop into this Zoom call every week to talk about all the different aspects of public speaking.
Wow. What is at the heart, Bobbie, of why we don't see more and more women on stages? And I can't believe it's because they're all introverts and don't want to be on stage. It can't be that.
Well, number one, hello, I'm an introvert too. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Right.
That is one thing that I usually tell people. Please do not tell me you're an introvert because I'm also one and I spend a lot of time on stage. But there are actually some systemic reasons that you don't find women on as many stages. And the number is generally 2/3 of all conference speakers are men. One of the reasons is that women are more likely to work for smaller companies, part-time, and women are still more likely to be responsible for kids in home. Those things make it really hard for you to kind of pick up and go to a conference or an event. Half of all event managers have zero budget for speakers. That means that women are often responsible for getting themselves to that conference, paying for the hotels. And, we earn less than men. We're often not in the C suite. So the company isn't supporting us. There's all kinds of reasons why we are just not accepting invitations. Now, we also get fewer invitations
Mhm.
because, again, we're not in the C suite. And the conferences want the top person at that company.
And when you break it down even further, you have women, then you also have Black women, brown women, women of color. And again, the numbers get smaller and smaller, and sometimes it's
Yeah.
heartening.
Yeah, and we have a name for this. We talk a lot about manels, the all male panels you see so often at industry conferences and events. I usually tell people that I just got fed up going to conferences where the stages were male, pale, and stale. The same
Mhm.
four old white guys over and over again. I got nothing against old white guys. I married one. But to be fair, he was not old when I
At the
married
time.
him.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, he was not married. He was not old at the time. But I don't want to just listen to the same perspectives. I want to hear different lived experiences. I want to hear different ideas. And if we keep putting the same people on stage, we will keep hearing the same ideas.
Absolutely. So we also wanted to have you on to talk about just a little preview, just a little taste, just a little tease of not one but two of the sessions you're going to be giving. So, which one do you want to start with? The PR? Why public speaking is the career tool too many women overlook?
Well, yeah. So, public speaking, career and business game changer. The idea here is more the why. Why do I insist? Why am I so focused on public speaking? And why do we all need to think about public speaking as we are supporting our careers, as we are supporting our companies? So, that's all about the why. And then the second session, I call it no excuses, how to
Mm,
get yourself on stage. And the idea here is to give people very actionable steps. This is more workshop than it is me just talking at you. So we're going to give you kind of all the tools that you need to get yourself on stage, get heard, and if possible, get compensated for your time.
Hmm. So for that introverted person or that tech person or the person who just really, you know, hold on to their PowerPoint so tightly, how do you help them become comfortable, whatever method? Because I don't think there's one size that fits all.
No.
Everybody doesn't have to be like, let's put on a show. Everybody doesn't have to be, let me do a half day workshop. How do you begin to learn what is your sweet spot? What is your love language, if you want to use a better term, to get people more comfortable, especially women, being on stage?
Yeah, and I usually tell people start really small. And when we're starting really small, one of the first opportunities for most people to get practice as a public speaker is to ask a question. So picture this, you're at a conference, you're at an event, and the speaker on stage is finishing up and they say, "Any questions?" And sometimes as a speaker, you do this and you kind of die a little inside when you hear those crickets, when nobody raises their hand, you're like, "Oh, nobody loves me enough to ask a question." So I want you in the audience to help that speaker out. Raise your hand, introduce yourself, ask an intelligent, well thought out question, and congratulations, you have taken the first
Wow.
step to public speaking. You spoke to the same audience that the speakers on stage spoke to. You didn't have to apply, you didn't have to put together a big presentation. All you did was raise your hand.
Wow, that is really, really good. We're almost out of time, but I do want to put on the screen for those of you who have not registered or have not said yes. This is the opportunity. There's still a little room, thrive-in25.com. So again, let me give you the dates that is going to take place. It is June 25th to the 28th. It's going to be in Chicagoland, so you definitely want to be there as well. Bobbie, thank you so much for being with us. You are amazing. Hold on just a second. And this has been just such a delight. I want to make sure that, okay, thank you. Sally says great advice. Absolutely. Thank you, Sally Ann. I want you to know that this is something that you might have been putting off going to a conference. It may have been a long time, but I've done my due diligence. I see where this is different. I see where it is unique. So please, if get yourself there and be the one to raise your hand and ask a question so you can get on stage as well. And we have one more coming up tomorrow where we're going to talk about the logistics and how you can customize your experience at the Thrive in 25 Women's Conference. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.